Who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Yeah, welcome. Woohoo! What an intro for episode 100 of the Dirt Life Show. Man, can you believe that? Gotti is still alive, man. She's kicking hard, man. That was awesome. It's so good to see that you guys have a new shop here in, Phoenix, Arizona. So welcome to the show. Legendary tuner, none other than Todd Zuccone, and of Evolution Powersports, and his son Jacob. What's up, man? How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
We're doing pretty good. I don't know. Should we ask what kind of numbers this bad boy ran? Brandon, are you got a microphone over here, dude? And I'll put the camera on you, actually, too. So Brandon just got done doing that dyno run with Gotti, legendary Gotti. Look at this camera right here, buddy. What kind of numbers did that bad boy run?
A little more than competition.
Oh, there we go. All right. Well, thank you very much, Brandon, for that fantastic intro, dude. That was awesome. We really appreciate you guys joining us on episode 100 of the Dirt Life Show. Man, I can't believe it. 100 episodes. RJ just brought up a good point. Like, George, you've actually talked to 100 people and held a conversation for more than a couple hours with them. That's fantastic.
That is cool.
It is pretty cool. So a little friendly tip, put the microphone as close to your mouth as possible tonight, boys. Welcome to episode 100. We really appreciate you guys having us at the new Evo Powersports shop here in Phoenix, Arizona, dude.
Thank you, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate you guys being the guest for episode 100. It was meaningful to me when we talked a few weeks ago about having the episode for 100 because you and Jacob are kind of embarking on Jacob's new racing career.
Yeah.
And that was really why we started the Dirt Life. We wanted to be able to share those same stories that we all have with our family and friends, just like a lot of the people that are sitting here in the audience. You guys can all wave to this camera over here. And a lot of them, Ecstasy Powersports is here, Chris, Becky Lemming, all the kids, and a bunch of people that live their dirt life the same way that you and Jacob and my father and myself lived as well.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's cool to see because there's so much that you have going on with, with family, right? Like, I know that it kept me out of drugs. It kept me out of all kinds of stuff, and we're going to get into all that stuff tonight. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So I'll get through all the intro stuff real quick here. My name is Georgie Hamill. Thank you guys very much for watching the Dirt Life Show. Like I said, we are at Evolution Powersports shop here in Phoenix, Arizona. And we wanted to actually thank at the beginning of the show here, just in case she's watching, one of our fans and one of my good friends. Her name is Remy Danbury. Caden Danbury is a Polaris factory razor driver, and he also is a four-wheel parts athlete. His sister, Remy, made 100th episode cookies for the Dirt Life Show. How cool are these things, man?
Thing's sweet.
I know, right? But I don't know how much effort it is to this, but it looks like it's so much effort. She hand drew all that stuff on the cookie, like the whole logo. Like, hand drew it on icing. Like, can you imagine that? I don't know how she did it, but these are super awesome. So thank you very much, Remy Danbury, for doing all that stuff. I hope we can kick off your little business as a 10-year-old, and you can start making some money and get your business going. It's really, really cool, man. So thank you very much, Remy, and the whole family for doing all that stuff. That kind of goes back to what I was talking about the family atmosphere, right? Racing and cookie making.
Yeah.
Did your sister do any of that stuff?
Not really. She's more into like horses and stuff.
Oh, there you go.
But she does like to bake, for sure.
Does she?
Yep.
Nice, man. Maybe we'll have to petition her to bake some cupcakes or something one of these days.
Yep.
And I wanted to mention, too, that we're going to have a giveaway at the Sand Sports Super Show, which I think you guys are going to be at, right?
We'll be there, yep.
We're going to have a giveaway for some EFX paddle tires, so that's going to be pretty cool. So stay tuned in the next week or so for some stuff on our social media at the Dirt Life Show, and try to win those bad boys as well. We got some comments already coming in. We'll try to get to them after I do finish up the intro here. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Evolution Powersports, how it became the leader in the side-by-side market, and man, the tuning and the stuff that you guys have come out with. We're going to talk about all that. Your new product that you were wearing a T-shirt for earlier. What is it called with the cell phone?
Code Shooter.
Code Shooter. And Code Shooter is, maybe you could just give us a little brief real quick.
Code Shooter is an app-based tuning tool that we developed. to allow the customers to tune their own vehicles with the use of their cell phone.
Right, first of its
Bluetooth,
kind.
Yep.
Yeah, so
For
it'll be
for the Powersports industry, for sure.
Man, it'll be really cool to see that, understand how that works and how it can help our audience as well. We're going to talk a lot about father and son racing and family atmosphere tonight. That's one thing that's really meaningful to me because my dad, my mom, everybody supported all of the stuff that I did in racing. And it's cool to see all of the stuff getting passed on from father to son with Jacob and Todd here. We're going to have Dustin Battle Axe Jones calling in around 5:20 or so Pacific time, 7:20 if you're on Dustin's time. We may or may not, I don't know if I'm going to surprise you guys with this, but we may or may not play Are You Smarter Than a Third Grader?
Oh.
So you think you could beat your dad, Jacob?
I don't know. I'm not great at, all the smart stuff.
I don't know if you guys can see on the camera, but we got a friend with us tonight, too. Brooke Demon is going to call in around 6 o'clock, and Justin Smith is also going to call in a little bit later as well. So
Very cool.
We're going to have a fun show. We couldn't have this show without you guys. You guys are our lifeblood. We really appreciate all of you guys. I mean, there's been so many messages and thank yous, not just for the 100th episode, but of us, sharing Remy, making the cookie, sharing some of the stuff that Todd and his family has been doing. It's been really cool to see you guys getting so interactive with us. So please keep it up. You can always hit us up anytime on Facebook, anytime on Instagram. Slide into our DMs. Let us know what we're doing. Let us know what we're doing good, bad, everything. And you can also check us out anytime. All of our videos are on thedirtlifeshow.com, as well as Facebook and YouTube. And you can reach us on any of the audio platforms as well. I know a lot of you guys have been listening to us on iTunes, and Spotify has been ramping up a lot lately. So thank you guys very much for doing that as well. Oh, yeah, and we also have a new sponsor deals page on thedirtlifeshow.com, so go check that out because that's us trying to give you guys a little bit and pay back you guys for helping us out so much. So we have a big discount on shock therapy. Thank you guys. Thank you to those guys very much for being such a crucial part of the show. Justin, he's just been amazing, man, supporting us. Thank you to the guys over at KMC Wheels and EFX Tires. Those guys have been a huge supporter of the show as well, giving us the opportunity to have this show for you guys. Thank you guys over at Zollinger Racing Products, man. They've been making some killer products. You can use the code TheDirtLife at ZollingerRacingProducts.com and get yourself some really good stuff over there. Thank you to Josh and all his team over at Cryo Heat. Have you ever seen the stuff that they do over at Cryo Heat?
I have.
The metal treatments and things like that? Yeah, it's pretty rad, man. They build some awesome Can-Am Pro Mod transmissions, some Razor Pro Mod transmissions, and a ton of other stuff. So give Josh over at Cryo Heat a call and tell him that Dirt Life sent you. And finally, thank you to the guys at Solder Weld for being a part of the show since day one. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at solderweld.com and save a whole bunch of money on any of their products like their off-road repair kit. All right, so let's get into it, guys. I'm really stoked to be sitting here because I've looked at a lot of the stuff that you guys have done, mostly you, Todd, for the with the business for the past, I don't know, how many years have you been doing side-by-side stuff?
In 12 years.
For side-by-side stuff?
Yep.
And then before that, you were tuning just street cars and stuff, right?
Yeah, high-end European cars.
Right on. Mostly Porsche stuff
Porsche
is what
stuff,
what I think, yeah. So it's cool to see that you have all that stuff. And in what time frame was Jacob born in your, motorsports career?
Well, he was born in 2004.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Not quite into side-by-sides yet?
No, at the time, we had
a Rhino, yeah.
Yeah, we had a Rhino that was fully built. And he'd always be a bobblehead in the back seat with, falling asleep on rides, family rides. But, yeah, I think that's how.
Do you remember any of those, Jacob?
I do remember some Rhino trips, yeah.
Nice. When you were super duper young or what?
Yeah, I mean, that thing was a beast for its time. It was insane, especially the way Dad built it. I mean, it was fully built, like everything you could do to a Rhino pretty much.
Dude, that's so cool.
I just remember I had to ratchet strap his head to the seat because he'd fall asleep in the back of the thing. And my wife was worried about him, having like a neck problem. So
you really ratchet strapped his head?
Yep.
Way to go, dude. That's hilarious, though. I know all the other parents are thinking, yeah, you know what? I remember putting like blocks on my kids' feet so they could reach the pedals and stuff. You do the same thing?
Yep, we did.
Dude, that's awesome. So we have a bunch of comments that have been coming in, so thank you guys very much. Please keep us entertained with all your comments. If you guys have any funny stories about Jacob or Todd, please comment in and let us know. Keep it PG-13 though, please. We have kids here. I heard Todd bakes a good-ass pizza. Is that true?
That is true.
Yeah?
Zuck's Pizza.
What is it really?
No.
Is that a deal?
That's what RJ calls it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jim Harder commented in. Thanks, Jim, for joining us tonight. Kenny Reed said, good job, guys, and congrats on the 100th episode. Yeah, man, the 100th episode is all because of you guys. We put in a lot of hard work on our end, but wouldn't be anything without you guys watching and people like Todd coming on to tell their stories. Jacob's been on the show a few times, so it's been pretty awesome to have both of them being such a good part of the show. Yeah, so when you were on the show before, though, was it like a lot different as far as like because you got to do it at your house?
Yeah, so that was a little interesting for me because I was really nervous and I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah,
but it was really cool, especially to do it with Brooklyn. It was a really cool experience, and then now doing it live, it's even cooler experience.
What did you think after you got off the?
I was
show
stoked.
last time?
I was stokoked. I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
You did a good job, dude.
Yeah, I was
a really good job.
I was insanely nervous for that, and yeah.
Really? You were nervous for an Instagram Live? Really?
Yeah.
Did you guys give him any shit for that?
No,
RJ probably gave him some shit.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So if anybody wants to know, most of the stuff that we borrowed for the studio is RJ's couches. And so thank you very much to RJ from Jeffrey's Performance for helping us out as well. That was pretty cool, man. All right, so we're gonna start talking, like we're gonna start getting into the father-son stuff a little bit later as we have people come on. But I'd like to give at least a little bit of a backstory so that people could understand where Evolution Powersports started, like with your brother, and give a little bit of backstory so that some of the people that may or may not know Evolution Powersports, so they know who it is.
Sure. So we conceived Evolution Powersports back in 2009, and
So
since
we had a little bit of dead air there, we got a message that said, "Put the mic up to your mouth, F-tarts."
All right,
That was a pretty good one.
Can you hear us now?
I cranked it up a little bit for our audience too in the mixer too, RJ. So thank you very much for producing back there, dude. Appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
So how was Evolution created?
So my brother and I conceived Evolution Powersports back in 2009, and we started doing just snowmobile upgrades.
Okay.
That was his passion at the time, and that's kind of how it started. We were basically took the same model that Evolution Motorsports, which was my automotive company, and we set out to create the highest quality products for the snowmobile world. And at that time, snowmobiles were kind of archaic, and the quality of products that were out there at the time wasn't up to my standards, I guess.
Yeah, so there was a gap in the market that you could step into.
For sure. And since we were using, manufacturing of, our manufacturing facility, it had to be a high-end product. So that's kind of what started the whole, sort of idea behind Evolution Powersports. And, it's a short season, snowmobile world. So
that's kind of right around the time side-by-sides were coming to fruition too, right?
Exactly. They were, and they weren't really that great then. But like we mentioned before, I had a Rhino that was, completely done up. And I really liked the off-road world, and I think it was a good segment for us to get into the off-road side of things.
Do you remember like when the side-by-sides started coming in, like how old Jacob was? Or do you remember Jacob?
11, 12, 13, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we start. So the first, in my opinion, so how we got into it was when the Razor 900 came out, which was like 11, 12, somewhere around there. They had a Bosch computer in them, which is something I was used to tuning with the automotive side of things. And I just figured, well, shoot, it's got a Bosch ECU. It's my language, so we can tune it. And that's kind of what started, us getting into the off-road world was that.
Oh, wow. We got, you guys might know her, Jen Zuccone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She said when I was pregnant with Jacob, Todd and I would carpool to work in the 996 TT. Oh, that's cool. Todd used to put his hands on my belly. I can't see it. And tell Jacob, Get ready to feel the G-forces, baby. Really? Is that a true story?
Yes, we would commute in a 1,000 horsepower 996 turbo, and Jacob was in mom's belly when.
So he was built for speed from the start.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice. That's cool, man. That's a good story, actually. Did you guys have any? Like, did you guys have times when you would actually like take him at speed, or would you
all
still
the time.
go?
All the time, yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, he was the only. I would pick him up from preschool in a McLaren or
Whatever you
another
had.
high horsepower car, and we'd go have fun.
Dude, how rad! Do you remember any of that?
I
Jay?
do, yeah. I
Really?
remember.
What was the first memory that you had in a fast car like that?
I don't know. It was like one day after school, and Dad showed up, and my principal was outside, and she's like, "Is that a Beamer?" And Dad and I looked at each other like, "What?" And
Because she didn't know what it was.
Yeah, she had no idea what it was.
Do you remember what it was?
I think it was a McLaren,
No,
right?
it was either McLaren or a Gumpert Apollo, which
It wasn't.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
not a BMW.
no,
It was not a
Yeah.
BMW,
no.
Dude, that's crazy. Let's see here. Do you get Somerset very often? What does that mean? Do you get to Somerset very often?
I do from time to time.
Is that a place?
That Somerset is where our headquarters is.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Where's that? In Wisconsin?
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Right on. Yeah, see? We got our friend up here. So you and your brother Jim both partnered up to create Evolution Powersports, correct?
Yeah, we started Evolution Powersports out of his garage in Minnesota when he lived there.
Oh,
and
okay.
we were basically working out of his garage selling snowmobile parts.
Dude, your hustle was probably strong at that point, right?
Had to be. We were trying to make a living for two families with a snowmobile season that's 4 or 5 months long.
Yeah, so you really got to hustle to be able to get that done. So one of the things that I know about you guys from being around you is that, first of all, you guys never give up. I mean, like, your racing attitude is super good, but you're also, how do I say this? Somewhat of a perfectionist, right? Because everything that you guys do is making sure that it comes out perfect. I know that for the last, year and a half, 2 years, you've been working on the Code Shooter application, and you didn't want to release it until it was set being perfect. And that's the way you've really run all the parts of your business.
Yeah, that's really how. It's in my nature. That's what I want. I want stuff to be, as near perfect as it can be before we bring it to market.
Right. It makes a big difference, though, because then at the end user level, it's really easy for them to be able to do it. So all the testing that goes behind it, like all of the stuff that happened, who knows what the development process was?
Yeah, and that was the hard thing because, we only released it to a small group of beta testers. So, once it got into the mass, market, there were a couple hiccups that we didn't really, plan upon, but we worked through it. I mean, nothing's ever perfect, right?
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
Even, so.
But it's cool that you're actually able to do that, though. Like, to me, when I saw that product hit the social media stuff, I was like, good God, this is going to be so awesome for the side-by-side market to be able to help people engage in what they want to do and do it themselves.
Right. Yeah, and we've only just begun, too. And we have a lot of cool features that we're still going to implement.
Okay.
It's a work in progress. So.
How was it dealing with your dad for the last couple of years when he was working on that project, Jago?
There were a lot of late nights that he was working from home. I didn't really see him that much for a few of those months, like in the thick of Code Shooter.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the COVID time when you were like either like at home or at school. Like, how was it for you?
I mean, all I saw was that he was busting his ass on this project, trying to perfect it as best as he could. He was very hard on himself for a very long time with it. He was doing his best that he could, and just struggle after struggle with the server, the end product. It was just.
When you see stuff like that, are you able to pick up on it and like understand what he's going through and like see the work ethic behind what he's doing?
His work ethic, yeah. I guess kind of some of the terminology, I don't really understand, but I try to as best I can. But yeah, I definitely see how hard he works in everything that he does, but especially Code Shooter the past 2 years.
Yeah, and it probably just rubs off on you like nothing, huh?
I try to live up to some of those standards.
That's pretty cool, though, that you get the opportunity to do that and to see that. You know what I mean? It's not like he's not too far away. He's like right there still giving you enough information. I think that's so cool, man.
Yeah.
It's like that whole thing where Dad will still have time to show you how to change the oil on your race car and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. Like, you see so many people nowadays that they go and buy a side-by-side and they can't work on it.
Yeah.
Like, they have to take it back to the dealership, and you have the opportunity to be able to prep a full-built race car, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
He does an amazing job prepping this car, for sure. I mean, he teaches me some things sometimes on this car as well.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool. Yeah, and I said, like, right when we pulled up to start getting set up for tonight's show, I mean, you guys were hustling out there, washing the whole thing, getting it ready. Like, it's a never-ending job, right, Jacob?
Yeah. It's my whole life pretty much at this point.
And so with Evolution Powersports, do you guys have some future plans with it, or are you guys just going to stay up there in the tundra like John Hupper said?
So we obviously set up this facility here in Phoenix. This is EVP mode, as you can see in the background. This is more of an R&D facility for us, where we're going to take on special projects.
Things like dyno testing and things like that?
Yep. This is Brandon's baby over. So yeah, we've got some cool things in the works that we can't really talk about yet, but yes, this is more of an R&D facility. And where cool stuff is going to happen.
It's super cool, man. And you're based out of Colorado, aren't you?
I am.
Yep. Right on.
So I'm usually between Colorado and Phoenix. I spend more time here than 50-50 between here and Phoenix, or here in Colorado.
What was the thing that got you into, tuning or wanting to work with any type of motor?
I think as a kid, my father was into Porsches. That's kind of where I got my love for Porsches. And my parents would go on vacation a lot, and they'd leave the keys to the Porsche. But with one caveat, the car wouldn't run. Oh. So my father would either take a coil wire off or disconnect something. So it was basically my job to figure out how to use the Porsche for the weekend. So I'd have to become a shade tree mechanic real quick.
That's pretty cool. Then, so the lineage of father to son passing the motorsports or mechanical abilities is being passed down from him to you and now to Jacob.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's pretty sweet, man. Do you ever see any of that stuff with your grandpa, Jacob? Is he still around?
Yeah. He actually just got a Porsche. I think it was
an older 911.
Is he doing side by sides or no?
He likes to go in them and enjoy them, but no, he's in the process of restoring an old Land Rover. He's got an old 911 that he's playing with.
Big car guy, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's all he does in his garage all day long.
Nice,
work on
man.
cars.
That's so cool. That makes me so happy to hear because you really are passing down that lineage, man. I think it's rad to see that. And so many people in the off-road world do that too. There's been a million people that have been, working on round-around cars, and now they get into side-by-sides. There's so many different ways to get into it. I love seeing all that stuff. Before we get into some of the side-by-side stuff, you also actually have some land speed records that I saw.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not they're speed records for the type of vehicle that I was driving in.
Uh-huh.
Like I said.
And you were driving as well? I thought they might have just been for the vehicle, but so you were the pilot too?
Yeah. So I like to go fast, like a lot of us. So
this guy sitting over here to your left.
But no, basically in the Porsche world, we used to do a lot of half-mile racing, quarter-mile racing, and one-mile racing. And the fastest I've ever gone on a Porsche is 231 miles an hour.
Holy smokes.
On an airstrip. And, for the type of vehicle I was in, it was a record at the time.
Dude, that's crazy. Have you ever gone any faster than that in any other vehicle, or is that the fastest?
231. That's
so, has your dad ever gone faster than that? So for the family of the boys, you got the fastest record?
Yeah.
Dude, for now, Jacob? Is that how you're doing it? Dustin Battle Axe Jones, what's up, buddy? How are you?
What's up, my man? How are you guys doing?
We're doing awesome. So tonight we have episode number 100 of the Dirt Life Show with Todd and Jacob Zuccone, and they just let me know some kind of cool stuff, dude. So how fast was it again?
231.
Todd's gone 231 miles an hour.
Todd, was that when you put that red Lamborghini into the pond, or which time was that?
That's not my video.
Oh, really?
If there's no video, it didn't happen? Is that how it works?
No, that wasn't my video. No, I've seen that video, though.
There's a video of it, though. Am I wrong,
No,
Todd?
you're
Didn't
right.
you put one in a pond?
No, not me. That was not me.
Some other guy did. 231 miles an hour is pretty bitching, though. Can you imagine going that fast, Dustin?
No, not at all. I'm scared to death when we do 70 or 80 in our cars. So, and I don't think anybody should ever let me loose in a car that can do over 200 miles an hour.
So the first thing that Jacob said when Todd said that he went 231, Jacob goes, and I asked if Todd had the record in the family. He said, yeah. Jacob goes, yeah, for now.
That's my boy there. Hey, he's already making his way up through the ranks.
Right.
He's over there handing out beat downs in a side-by-side already.
Yeah, you see this bad boy
He's over there.
I don't know if you can see it, but we got his race car right behind me here.
Oh, yeah. Little Zuccone making money moves over there, man. I've been watching him. I got to go back and look at each checkpoint to make sure he's not beating my times from checkpoint to checkpoint.
Yeah, so they were hauling the mail out at Vegas to Reno. Did you get to see them, shake their hands?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We always cross paths, which Todd and the guys at Evo, Jim and those guys are a big sponsor of our race car and have been since the very beginning that we started racing. So anytime I get a chance, I cross paths with those guys and tell them hello and congratulations. And I haven't seen you guys since, so congratulations on the finish.
Thank you, Dustin. You too.
Yeah, came home with second place, right,
Yep.
at Vegas to Reno. That's pretty awesome. What class did you guys race?
UTV rally.
Yeah, that's such a good class, man. I think there's so much talent in that class, and the talent just keeps rising to the top. It's so cool to see that you guys did well. Actually, how did you guys do at Vegas to Reno, Dustin? You guys did well too, right?
Yeah, we actually ended up squeezing out a second, man, which is, let's see, 2 years ago we got fourth at Vegas to Reno. Last year we got third at Vegas to Reno, and then this year we got second. So just steady working our way up, trying to get there, man.
Yeah, and you guys were pretty close to getting the win, too. I know it was only a little bit of time if you had been able to make up, but that's super cool that you guys were able to do that. Richard HPR Harding said, Jacob definitely has the perfection gene. His race game is on point. There you go, dude. That's why you got that second place at Vegas to Reno.
It was pretty much all that.
Dude's doing strong.
So
But, man, to be honest with you, I think that's why Evolution does so well at what they do, and they stay real close and on top, is because, I mean, look at them. They're out there running their tunes on their car. They're racing. They're doing well. It's the same way that we've built our race program around S3 Powersports. Is the stuff that I sell for like the X3 is straight the same parts that I bolt onto my race car. No changes, just our production parts. And so, man, I think it gives you an opportunity to build a superior product whenever you're running it, testing it, racing it on your own stuff, and you rely on it, you know?
Yeah, because you get to actually see it in action, right?
Yeah, and that's why we're running your parts, because I know they're top quality.
Yeah, I think
Right?
this car right here has a
All
S3
S3
cage,
stuff.
too.
S3 cage, S3 arms, trailing arms. So for sure, that's why we're using it.
Yeah,
Dude, that's so
we
cool.
appreciate that very much.
I can guarantee you that if you ever try to pass Dustin, though, he's going to give you some shit, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro. Yeah. You getting clipped, you start trying to make a pass. I mean, even if you catch up to me because I'm having problems, you're getting clipped on the track.
You better watch out. You're already making friends.
Trust me, I know.
The good part is you run my suspension, so whatever I tear up, I have to replace for free on the car.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. So what's been going on in your world the last couple weeks, Dustin?
Dude, we've actually been running crazy lately. You know, we went Vegas to Reno, and then right before that, we rode with that rally driving class, and we were in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And then this weekend, we're getting ready for a huge mud ride. Cowboy is supposed to show up tomorrow or Wednesday to hang out for a couple of days. We're doing another big group ride out at the local mud park for Labor Day, and then cooking out. We're having a catering service come in because there's a little program over there that we're supporting for this Labor Day weekend that's called One Tribe, which was originally 22 Kill. Well, that's a group that supports the veterans that are like post-combat veterans. And, apparently there's a statistic of there's 22
that commit
suicide. Yeah, man. And so we're helping with a fundraiser and auction to raise money for them. So we're catering out there, feeding everybody for free that will come out there and help support what they have going on. So we got a lot going on for Labor Day weekend. We're supposed to fly out to Pikes Peak Speedway on Sunday morning to spend 2 days out there for a big event. And so, man, it's just It's like what Todd and Jim and them just boom, boom, just anywhere somebody calls, man, we say yes and we're there.
I know it's crazy the schedule that you guys keep up with, man. It's pretty cool. Hey, one of the questions that I was going to ask you is what this the baseline of the show is like father-son and family atmosphere at the racetrack. Like I grew up obviously with my dad and we did two-wheel stuff, but it was really cool because I learned so much, right? It kept me out of trouble. It kept me in line. It kept me learning stuff all the time. And Todd got it from his father, and now he's passing it down to Jacob. What do you think about, all of this stuff happening in the off-road world?
Man, it's what, to me, it's what like off-roading and racing is really meant to be like.
Yeah.
I know there's a good aspect of competition to it, man. But to spend time with family, even what you would consider your extended family that you meet at the races, there's guys out there that live around y'all, George out west, that I consider family now, man. The Romos are great people. The Murray brothers are like family to us, man. Just it's what it's meant to be, I think. There's an aspect of.
Oh, it looks like we lost some audio from Dustin, but what he's saying is so true, right? Like,
For sure.
It really is. Like, it's such a family atmosphere. There you go. I think we got you back, Dustin. We're good.
Yeah. So I don't know where I dropped off, but I think that's what the atmosphere is supposed to be like, man. It's like a family thing, be it father and son, be it brother from another mother, just family that you run with. But, man, it makes the racing experience so much more enjoyable to cross paths with, Todd and you guys. I consider y'all our family, man. We've been racing together for 7 years now, and you guys have helped us in the middle of the night and in the trenches and pitted for us at many races.
Yeah.
And so y'all are family to me.
You remember any of those times when you guys were working late and doing all that stuff?
Yeah, I remember, Dustin. You called me out of the blue back in 2015 on your way to the Mint, I think, right? Or was it the Mint? And,
yes.
And that was, we were in the side-by-side business, but not fully into it like we are now. And, I remember that like it was yesterday. We tuned Dustin's car on the dyno in Phoenix when I had my automotive shop here. And, from that point, that was the beginning of our relationship.
Dude, it is crazy, right? That those relationships spawn just like that. That's so, and then all of a sudden, you're helping him out in the middle of the desert, like what he was just saying. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, we've had a lot of cool trips together. Out in the dunes, down in Mexico.
Dude, some wild freaking. We've had some good times together for sure, man.
What goes on in Mexico has to stay in Mexico, I guess, because this show's PG-13, so we're going to have to probably bypass some of those stories. But Steve Ross says, my boy, Dustin Battleaxe Jones.
Bro, Steve is good people, man. He always supports us. Anything we do, he's always commenting. He's the best.
There,
Steve
part of your extended family, off-road family, right? Hey,
dude, that's how it is, man. That's how it is.
Can you remember any funny stories with Todd and Jacob?
Oh, man. Mainly, I remember always calling Todd with an apology in advance.
Because apology first.
Dude, it's always I open with Todd. I am so sorry to call you, dude, right? And so I feel so bad for these dudes because they catch grief because anytime something goes wrong with a car, it's not running right or like it won't run top speed, everybody's like, it's the tuner. Call the tuner. There's something going on before you check anything else. And so I always call anytime I call Todd, and he will answer literally day, night, middle of the night. When we were getting ready for Vegas to Reno, we were changing some things on the car. Jim and Todd were answering at like 11 p.m.
Dang.
Just like, what's up, man? So I always remember anytime I call Jim and Todd, I open with an apology first.
And I always know I'm in for it. I got to get my thinking cap
because
on.
the next thing is I'm asking for something.
Every time Todd looks at his phone and he sees Dustin, he's like, what did I sign up for, man?
It's all good.
So I'll tell you one of the craziest things that I remember that me and Todd, and actually most of his family did. So when we raced the Iceman 500, and this may have been like 3 years ago on Balsam Lake.
It was an ice race.
So you got to have like the studded tires and all that? That sounds crazy.
Oh, bro, if you've never been out there, you have to go do the Iceman 500. It is insane. Dude, it's a big frozen lake in Wisconsin, close to y'all, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, that's nuts.
And fun fact about Wisconsin that I think Todd told me is you could parachute into any place in Wisconsin, and you're within 17 miles of a bar. Isn't that correct? Isn't that what you told me, Todd?
That I don't know, because A, I don't drink, and B, I don't live there. So
I don't either, but this is what I heard while I'm there. So anyways, we went to this ice race on the frozen lake. It was 2 days of racing. First day is like 250 miles or something, 25 10-mile laps. Then you prep the car, you get everything done, and then you race the next day. Well, that night it was like, nobody get on the track. You can't take your race cars out there. You can't be practicing. But what they didn't say is you can't take a rental car on the track and practice. And so, dude, I remember at one time we're at probably 70 or 80 miles an hour, full lock in the rental car, sliding across the lake. And we catch the edge of the bank and put it up on two wheels at 70 or 80 miles an hour.
every seat
Am
was
I
taken in that
exaggerating,
thing.
Todd?
Really?
It was a full car.
Holy
Am I
smokes.
exaggerating, Todd?
Nope. I remember like, yep.
Were you
I
in the
thought-
car, Jacob?
I wasn't there for that one, unfortunately.
I thought we were
should have
going
been there.
over, but he saved it.
Really? Were you guys
Bro.
fully
yeah.
bicycling it?
Yeah, because I was in that corner that went into that bank first.
Oh, really?
So I thought we were going into it.
That's the closest I've ever got to wrecking a rental car and not actually wreck the rental car.
Oh my God!
And I've wrecked
man.
a lot of rental cars.
Dude, well, at least
And so Todd was like, let me give this a try. Let me give a run at that. Todd, what happened whenever you started driving?
Man, I wasn't, no. There was not enough traction on that car.
so what were you guys?
So we
up
ended
to?
up getting
Stuck.
We ended up getting stuck on one of the berms. Me and Todd were out there trying to dig our way out before the race promoter found us out there. Well, he ended up finding us. He ended up finding us
we
out
need
there.
another vehicle to get us out. It was a long, cold night.
Did you guys get kicked out like for doing the race, or did they still
No,
let you race?
fortunately, the promoter of it is a friend of ours, and no,
You had to give him a favor.
no
Give him a
favors,
raise?
but he understood why we were doing what we were doing.
But now, every year at the Iceman 500, the rules is there's no practicing on the track and there's no rental cars on the track anymore.
Change the rule book.
Yep,
Oh my gosh! Way to ruin it for everybody else, Todd.
it was a lot of fun.
So basically, you would have gotten out of there just fine if Todd hadn't have messed it up for you, huh?
100%. We made probably 30 laps on that track, and Todd made one lap. One lap.
Killed the
and
whole
got that
dream.
hung up.
Yep, he ain't wrong.
Dude, it was buried. I thought for sure we weren't going to make it. I was like, do you see this beautiful pale skin? I'm not made for cold weather.
It was
I'm not going to
cold.
live through this. Dude, it was cold. It was cold.
Oh my God! You guys must have been sitting there just wanting to get a warm shower. That's hilarious,
Oh, man.
man.
Oh, man.
I can only imagine the stories that you guys have going further, man. I really appreciate you joining us, though, Dustin. It sounds like you guys are busy. What's the next thing on your plate?
We've got Laughlin in 2 weeks, and so right now with our Vegas to Reno finish, that put us up into second place for the championship this season. And so I think it's like Guthrie, S3, Piplik, and maybe Blurton. And so, man, there's only 2 races left. Like, we got to make a run for it. So
Dang.
we got second for the championship last year. So, man, I'm either going to crash the car or try to win it this year, you know.
That's pretty cool. You guys are going to be at Laughlin as well, right?
Yep.
Well,
Are you pretty excited for that one, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Does that mean you're going to try to keep up with Dustin?
No, we race at different times, but I'm definitely going to try and go out there and win for sure.
Right on, man.
But you guys are sitting pretty good in points, right?
No, so unfortunately we're not in it for points this year. We're starting 11th.
Yeah.
We're pretty far down on the list for points, so we got kind of
right.
mixed in with the random draw.
So one thing that I always admired about Dustin is he's really good at seeing in the dust, or his tactics for seeing in the dust are really good. How do you deal with it, Jacob?
To be honest, I don't really. I mean, for me, dust. I'll try and stay away from the car.
Yeah.
Just because I get scared, kind of falling in the dust. I don't know where I'm going. I can't see.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to do is wreck the car.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I
And
stay
it-
pretty far off. I know Brooklyn. She kind of gets right on their ass and just follows them. And I've tried that, but that section in between from where you can see or can kind of see,
It's really
to the
hard to
point,
get through that.
Yeah, it's kind of sketchy.
and it's seat time. It's something I think you probably learned over the years, and it's something you'll pick up over time.
Yeah, I don't think Dustin
It is, man.
went into it like
Yeah.
full bore. Yeah, I'm sure he learned it over the years, but it's
No, but I'll tell you, it's a very important aspect of racing. I tell a lot of people, everybody can be fast in a straight line, and everybody can be fast whenever it's clean air.
Right.
If you can learn to be fast whenever everybody else wants to go slow, you can be up front. And so it's definitely unnerving to drive in the dust, but I keep in my mind, like, this is where races are won. When everybody else wants to go slow and I can run just a little faster than they can in the dust, that's where you can win races. So don't tear your car up trying to run in the dust. But you keep in your mind, like, everybody can go fast in clean air. It's winning the races when everybody can't go fast is what's good.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're going to learn that as you kind of get, further along in your professional side-by-side racing career, so that'll be cool. Is there any tips that you can offer Jacob other than the dust stuff, since he's kind of going into his, it'll be your second year next year, right?
Yeah, full year, yeah.
Is there any tips that you can offer him, Dustin?
Yeah, certainly. There's two ways to drive. It's either checkers or wreckers. It's win or what. So everybody remembers the guy that wins, and everybody remembers the guy that yard sales a car. So if you're going to do anything, do one of those two things. Either win it or crash trying.
Hey, look, that's why you sponsor him. He's a marketing genius, right?
That's right.
Hey, thanks, Dustin.
Exactly.
We really appreciate you taking the time with us, buddy.
My pleasure, man. It's great to talk to you guys. Congratulations, Todd, Jacob. Great job, man. I look forward to seeing you on Laughlin.
Thanks, man. We'll see you there.
See you there.
Later, Dustin.
Bye, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks. See you guys.
See ya.
It's always cool to talk with him, man. He's always got so many good stories, and it's a little later. It's a couple hours later out in Louisiana, but it's cool to see that he notices the things that you're doing, and he's offering, help for you in your racing career.
Yeah. I've gotten it from a lot of people, especially from Brooke.
Yeah.
She's given me a lot of pointers over the past few months in racing.
What are some of the key things that you've learned?
Just kind of take your time, pace yourself. Can't win a race, first lap or first few laps,
Yeah, or first hour.
Yeah, like Vegas to Reno, you can't win the race in the first hour. So kind of back it off, don't really go too hard on the car, and then last little bit or last lap, definitely go for it, pick up the speed.
Because you sat in the car all Vegas to Reno with him, right? And I think you drove and you sat passenger?
No, I actually drove the whole race.
Okay.
I learned a couple things in Vegas to Reno. Number one, I wouldn't make a good co-driver.
You would not?
I would not make a good co-driver.
Okay.
And when, just seeing how Jacob is a great co-driver, Jacob's also a great driver. But, he did an amazing job co-driving and calling out the shots that, we made a decision, about halfway through when we were supposed to swap, that it made more sense for us to continue the way we started the race. It wasn't in the original plan, but that's kind of what we decided to do halfway through.
And it worked out pretty good, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he's the one who let me make the call. He's like,
Yeah, because you would have pulled over and switched drivers.
Yeah, and that pit that we were supposed to change at, we had just passed, 2 or 3 cars, and there was another car in front of us that was pitting that same pit, and it didn't make sense to waste 5 minutes doing a driver swap and then have everyone else pass us back. And
what happens if you did make that call to do the 5 minutes? Would you have gone down?
We would have gone down probably 5 or 6 positions.
Well,
Wow.
and we would have lost some clean air that we gained, in the 30 miles before.
Really?
And, the other thing is it was getting dark. I had the adrenaline rush going. I think as a driver, I think there's more of an adrenaline rush than maybe a co-driver because he's looking at a screen pretty much the whole time.
Right.
And I just know that I don't think it would have set us up to be safe in the night. Because I've never co-driven before.
He's never looked at one of those Lorentz screens, and looking at it for the first time, in the middle of a race.
Well, not
is
just
not
looking
the
at
greatest.
it, but understanding what you need to relay to the driver.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talking.
I always tell everybody too, I've never sat in the passenger seat except for maybe an hour worth of a race, and I was horrible at it too. I think I could grow on me, I could get used to it, but I feel like being a driver, I feel like the passenger or the co-driver is more important almost.
Yeah, I mean, there were certain sections of the track where, I was 100% relying on what he was telling me.
Yeah, so he was keeping you out of danger the whole time.
Yep.
That's crazy, man.
And especially the latter half of the race, the dust was terrible. I mean, we got disoriented a few times where we were off track by 10 or 20 feet, and I was looking at my map, and
Really?
The dust was that bad.
The course is, give or take 10 or 20 feet each side.
Right.
So we were in the middle of a field, and we had no idea where we were going because the dust was so bad. So, I mean, as a first-time co-driver, I don't think he would have been, the greatest option, and that we would have put ourselves in danger and our safety in danger.
That's good that you guys are able to vibe off each other enough, though, to be able to make those decisions on the fly. I mean, because sitting in those seats for that long a time is already tough on you.
Yeah.
And to make a lucid call like that was pretty awesome.
It wasn't easy, because I wanted to stick to the plan, but I think it was the right call.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good dynamic, though, because you're also letting him learn what you make the decision on what your position is for the race, like what's best for the race, right?
Yeah.
Not what's best for either of you guys in the car.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's cool. So what was the couple things that you learned at that race then that were meaningful that you didn't know before?
I guess kind of listen to your gut. I mean, my mind was my mind was in a place where, I want to get in the driver's seat and I want to finish this thing on my own. But, my gut was telling me stay in the passenger seat and stick it out, and you'll have the next race.
Yeah,
yourself.
Exactly. That's such a good way to look at it, too, because you have so many races ahead of you.
Yeah.
Like, there's a long, long time. How old are you now, Jacob?
16.
Yeah, so there's 20 years plus left in you to go racing. So there's going to be so many races, and that's such a good thing to learn at the beginning of your racing career.
Yeah, and the pit that we were originally supposed to swap, Dad made the call, let's keep going. And I'm like...
Yeah, because our fuel strategy changed along the way because we were getting better fuel mileage than we calculated. And, the pit that we were supposed to change at, we ended up blowing by because we didn't need the fuel at the time. So it had to change regardless.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you guys were able to make those decisions on the fly pretty...
We did.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in between that pit and then the next pit, we had a conversation about, whether he should keep driving or if we should swap. And I had a lot of time between that pit and the next pit to make a decision where, before that next pit, I was like, let's just keep it how it is. No driver swap. Let's stick it out and let's win this thing.
Yeah, and then so when you get done with the race and everything's said and done, are you confident and happy with your decisions?
100%, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you were able to do that, man. Yeah. Most people wouldn't be, and especially younger people, wouldn't be able to do that. No, Dad, I want to drive.
Yeah. That's what my mindset was originally, and then it took me a few minutes to, realize we're in a good spot. If we do this, then we're going to lose our good spot, and we're going to lose, a contention for first place or second place or a podium in general.
Makes sense, dude. We had a comment come in from Tap Tap. He said, ask Todd about the Sound Outlaw and Cops last month.
The Sand Outlaw and what?
Cops last month. I don't know what that means.
Cops.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Did Jacob know about it?
In Oregon. The rental cars.
Yeah, more rental car stories?
The rental car story.
Good ones?
That was that was a good one.
You want to tell it or you want to skip it?
We had kind of a short cannonball run with 3 rental cars with Brandon and RJ. We decided to make a late night Walmart run, which was basically 40 miles up the coast. I think we got there in 20 minutes.
Who could get there the fastest?
It pretty much was. There was some bumping and grinding going on. There was a whole bunch of stuff, and then it turned into more or less a
food fight.
Yes, a food fight.
A car fight and then a food fight?
Yeah.
At one of the stoplights, I had no idea what was coming, but we got
syrup and
tarred
flour.
with syrup and flour on the windshield.
That's a good one.
So so my rental car got the worst of it, but the Brandon got he got pulled over by the cops.
Oh, man. Did he get a ticket or no?
Yeah.
No, he did get a ticket. Yes, he did.
But it wasn't that bad for all the stuff that we had done.
For as criminal as it was, he got off easy.
For as criminal as it was. Oh. See, what happened was...
Cop was super chill about it, though. He was,
Really?
Cop flew by me to pull him over.
No way.
And I was not going slow.
So he goes to get Brandon. Must have had his eyes set on him, dude. That's hilarious.
There was one spot, we were probably both doing 85, 90 miles an hour, and Brandon was inches off of our bumper. Inches.
Nice. That's the way to do it, man. Well, since we're talking about driving skills, let's just take you guys out of the race Well, actually, we can keep you guys in the race situation, but if you guys were to guess right now, Jacob, give me your answer first. Who's a better driver right now, you or your
100% Dad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gone 200 plus miles an hour, and he's done a lot of road races like that. So 100%. I think with age comes experience.
Yeah.
So 100% Dad.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob's a great driver. I mean, we've had to tame him down a little bit because, he did have a heavy foot, and he was more in for it for speed in the beginning and less technique.
Yep.
But we've spent some time in the car. He spent some time with some other people in the car, and it's seat time. Really is what it is. But he's been very good and very receptive to learning and not wanting to just be foot to the floor.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, though, because he's got a good teacher, so it's good for him to be able to do that. So when you do go out and drive with or against Dad, however you want to talk about it, are you able to get, feedback afterwards from him, or are you able to know, that you increase or you, see the improvements in your driving?
Yeah, so when we go out and test, Dad definitely gives a lot of pointers, a lot of good advice, and so does RJ and Parker, my co-driver.
Give me a little bit of a backstory or a scenario. You go out and test. Are you usually in this car and you go out to the desert and he sits passenger with you, or how does it work?
So either he sits passenger with me or my co-driver does, Parker Darland, and we just go out and drive and kind of get comfortable. And originally I just wanted to go. There was one point when we were out testing at Geyser Loop. We're coming up to kind of where the road comes.
Yeah.
Where the trophy trucks send send it hard.
It's a little bit sideways, too.
Yes. Yeah, and my radio connection wasn't very great, or my volume wasn't good.
Yeah.
And my co-driver was like, be careful, it lands left. And I thought he said, send it. So I'm like, okay, smash the throttle. And I go flying.
He cleared the road.
Nice, dude. That's no small feat either.
No.
You got to be cooking at least, 60 or 65?
We were probably doing, 65, 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. Were you scared shitless?
Oh, I wasn't, but my co-driver Parker was.
And I was there filming it, so I was scared too. I'm like, he's gonna lift, isn't he? He's gonna lift. Nope. Flat-footed the whole way.
Really?
Yep.
Full pepper?
Pretty much, yeah.
We're going to have to start giving you a nickname, Full Pepper, from now on, dude. Do you have a nickname, by the way?
I don't.
Not yet?
No, I mean, I have a few nicknames from home, but yeah.
When you get in trouble?
Yeah.
So what grade are you in now?
I'm a sophomore, or junior, yeah.
And as a family, do you guys have a criteria that he has to meet to be able to keep racing?
Yes.
As far as education goes and chores and different things like that?
Yeah, he's really good about staying on top. I mean, sometimes my wife and I have to get on him for, staying on school, but it's A's and B's, and he's good about it.
That's cool. And you're okay with it, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small price to pay for the cool stuff that I get to do.
Dude, 100%. We had a couple people chime in and said, Lindsay Geyser chimed in and said it was like Mario Kart, but in real life for the rental car.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
Was she up there too with you guys?
Yeah, she was.
AJEYZ said, I'll make sure to tell the Coos County people. And he's laughing. That's hilarious, man. That is a pretty good story, though, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because I don't know if you feel this way, Jacob, but knowing all the stuff that went down, I kind of want to be there. I wish I had been a part of that too.
I have a whole movie on my phone pretty much of just stupid stuff.
From you and your dad?
Yeah, Lindsay, she got a good one. When RJ got out, he got out in the middle of an intersection. He got out and just sprayed the windshield with flour.
Really?
And for some reason, I got out of the car and started chasing him. Where am I going to go? And they had their rear window open. I jumped on top of their car and then put my head in through their window and then crawled in the back seat. And everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know.
I just got excited. I'm going.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, dude. Oh, man. See, some of those times, and you never get to do that unless you're in a position like you guys are where you spend so much time as a family together, right?
Right.
I think that's awesome to hear that story. I mean, some people might call it reckless, but I think it's hilarious because you're not sitting at home playing a video game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're experiencing something that's meaningful in life, whether it's dangerous or not. I mean, that's to be decided, but
probably not the best example to set for him, but
yeah, it's cool. Did your dad also do the same stuff with you, Todd?
Not at the same level, no.
No. Thing you gonna do? That's good, man. All right, so a couple other things are a little bit more on the serious side that I wanted to talk about. Let's see here. Oh wait, did you guys grow up racing? You and your brother Jim? Or when did you kind of start getting into the auto stuff, like the?
Probably more street racing as a
Young adult.
young adult.
Gotcha. Okay. So and
but
then it
no-
just kind of spawned from there.
Yeah, I mean, when I was, I did a lot of road racing. I mean, that's really what my background is road racing.
Right.
And then the top speed stuff that I did. But, I've raced for better part of my life, for sure.
And so like a lot of the stories that we're talking about, they're new to me, right? And they're new to some of our audience but like the skill level that you possess is quite a bit higher than some may even think, like, because you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, it's seat time. I mean, I didn't start out, how do you, talk yourself into, going 230 miles an hour unless you just do it?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean,
But you have to have experience to be able to back that up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing that you've gone that fast, dude. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to talk about that was brought up a little bit before was you guys have a project that you guys did with the Discovery Channel. Were both of you guys involved in that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what spawned this car. I mean,
This car right here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see if I can do a little wider angle so you can see it. Okay.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, let's let Jacob bring it up.
Yeah, so back last October, the company got approached by Discovery for Gold Rush, or the Gold Rush show. Once again, so we did a show with them about the Iceman 500.
Yep.
We did a race with Rick Ness, and there was a show for that. And then we got approached by Discovery again to possibly do, like a desert racing episode or something like that. And Dad actually brought it up with them at the Iceman. That would be cool to do something like with the Mid 400 or some
To
kind of
follow
historic.
your guys' journey kind of thing?
Not like kind of more with Gold Rush and the stars of that.
Well, it was to give their audience, a snapshot as to what, this dirt life is about.
Right.
Right. The Iceman was great, but it was a very small segment, and it's I don't want to say obscure because
It's just a focused event.
Yeah, it is. Whereas, the desert racing thing it's a whole experience. So we wanted to, I wanted them to see if, they could, fit it into, what they were trying to do with an off-season shoot with Rick and some of the cast members. So,
Dad actually asked me to spearhead this project.
Really?
I was still on Code Shooter at the time, and I didn't have a ton of time to devote to it.
Yeah.
So Jacob
He gave me the opportunity.
He was the point person for the whole thing.
How did it feel to even have your dad ask you about that? Try to turn your mic a little bit too. Maybe
Sorry.
just move it, get a little closer to you. How did it feel like when your dad was like, "Hey, we want you to"?
I was
spearhead
I was excited and I was nervous because at the time, I didn't really know much about, the side-by-side industry. I'd gone to a few events, but,
or any type of filming project. I mean, that's pretty gnarly, right?
I mean, I had no real experience with this, industry really, or anything to do with the car.
So getting thrown into the fire was just
pretty much. There's a lot of learning opportunities.
But it was from scheduling. I mean, the whole thing from start to finish, and I threw him to the wolves. But that was the only way it was going to get done because I couldn't stop what I was doing. I mean, we worked together to build the car.
I had a lot of mentors like RJ or his shop guys helped a lot, and a lot of outside kind of input on the race car that helped me build it to what it is now.
So there was a lot of moving pieces, I guess you could say. Then. So you had to build a race car like the one here behind me.
It was a bone stock X3 too. It was a former Dune car.
You have to handle a project.
Yeah.
You have to handle people. You have to handle scheduling. There's a lot.
We had a tight timeline too. There was a 2-month build window to get this car from a wrecked Dune car to what it is now.
So that's what it started as. So what was your do you guys just or do you yourself, Jacob, go and write everything down that needs to happen and then just start executing? Or
I kind of have to be guided sometimes. So Dad helped me kind of keep me on track with building it and the timeline and all that, and who it needs to be by, or kind of where the car needs to be at what time and who it needs to be with to get it done and accomplished. But it was really hard initially, and then learning a lot along the way. Definitely helped.
if you got thrown to the wolves again, though, you'd probably be able to knock it out no problem, huh?
I think so, yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. I think that's awesome that you were able to handle that.
Yeah.
It probably took a lot of weight off of you too, Todd.
It did, for sure, because like I mentioned, there's no way that I could have done it myself.
Right.
Jacob handled, probably 80% of it. I just remember right before Christmas, you and I were sitting on the couch, and he had a whole list of things that needed to accomplish, spreadsheet, all
Stuff
the people we want involved with the car.
Yeah.
And a drop dead deadline of when it needed to be done by. So.
Yeah, and it was definitely, challenging when parts didn't show up on time and the car had to be somewhere for something. Like with the cage, it was a little late on when it was supposed to be delivered by it, and the cage had to get fabbed on for the spare tire carrier. So that was kind of a big deal for me, not having...
Yeah, because now you're under the gun.
Yeah.
And there was a ton of pressure. I mean, this was a Discovery Channel shoot, and
It's not just missing a race for you guys.
Right, and it was the Parker 250, so it wasn't like the date was going to change.
Right. Yeah.
So
It
was stressful, but
how good did it feel to get that bad boy done and out there on the dirt?
It felt amazing. I mean, we had very little kind of shakedown time to test the car.
Yeah.
So I was nervous race day that the car wouldn't really handle some of the stuff that it did, but
you had some
it
good
handled...
companies that you work with, though, so you gotta have some confidence in them.
Yeah, I definitely did in the parts and components that were on the car. Just my kind of me building the car from the ground up. Pretty much, I was scared in some of my capabilities that I put into the car, like some of the bolts, if they weren't tight enough or if something could fail, that was my fault. I was definitely nervous before the race.
You're probably like your dad and me. Like afterwards, you're like, okay, now I know it. Like this is what I can do better next time.
Yeah. So I mean, the night before the race, I was pulling my hair out. I couldn't sleep. I was so nervous.
Really?
Like if the car failed, it was all on me. I was terrified for that to happen. But I mean, car held up great. We had no problems with the Parker 250. I mean,
and
we
had
bells, no tires.
Great help from people like RJ and Jeffries and
right.
It was
all of our sponsors that helped us
for sure.
That's super cool, man. We had a comment come in that's a little bit of a sideline comment, but John Huppers asked thoughts on the Polaris Pro R and putting huge horsepower into a play car.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, it'd be pretty awesome, right? I know we get a lot of questions like that. I don't want this episode to turn into questions about what's going to possibly be coming out because this is a show about Todd and his son. So Legion Motorsports Group said Rick had a modified YXZ but used Evo's Can-Am X3 to run the race.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So was he a good driver then?
Yeah, he was really good.
He did amazing for his first time.
Who was his co-driver?
I was, yeah.
You were? And what did you think?
I thought he did great for the first time, he's ever done a desert race or kind of even driven in the desert. I mean, he had no real background. I mean, he had background in driving and, racing the Iceman, but he had no desert experience in an X3 whatsoever.
And you thought he did a pretty good job,
Yeah,
huh?
we finished 5th out of 13 in our class, which, for his first time, I thought was amazing.
Dude, that is pretty rad, right? All right, well, we got Brooke. She's going to call in just a little bit here, but before she calls in, we're going to go to commercial break, so we will see you guys in just a second.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target, and we are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Yeah, finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I've trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like let's say a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there, or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up.
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah. Also, as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel. And then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything. So that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, Chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
All right, we are back with episode 100 of the Dirt Life Show, man. 100. We are so stoked, and we also have some really good news. You guys are going to be able to hear Jacob now. So he had his microphone backwards somehow. I've never had in 100 episodes anybody put their microphone backwards.
He's lefty.
There's a first for everything.
Yeah. So is that what he gets blamed on? He's lefty.
Well, he had it on the left side, so to him it's normal.
I got you. But there is a way that you can switch it and have it on the left side. You just got to put it around. But he just twisted it. And it's like smashed in there. So, well, Jacob, you'll be able to have your fans and everybody hear you now. So. Brooke Dimon is going to call in just a little bit here. So one of the other questions that I wanted to ask, like, when you first started getting into the side-by-side stuff, Jacob, your dad is obviously a pretty proficient in tuning, and he's got a lot of clients that he services at the races and stuff. Does that put any different pressure on you?
Not really. I mean, somewhat, but to me, I just try to go out there and have fun.
Yeah, so your attitude is pretty, I don't want to say cavalier because that's kind of a bad word, but you're pretty chill about going out there and doing what you're focused on?
Yeah, obviously I try my best, but I'm out there to have fun pretty much.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, especially when you're learning too, right? Because there's a lot of kids that go out there and they just get full tilt, 100%, and then they just get burnt out right away, man. I don't want you to do that because I want you to have a long career.
Yeah.
So, I personally think that that's going to be a good way to do it. And you had a good mentor with Brooke, right? And,
she helped me a lot with a lot of struggles that I had.
Did she give you a bunch of advice?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What kind of stuff did she teach you? And because
I
she's
don't know.
only a couple years older than you, right?
Yeah, she's 18, I believe, or 18 or 19. But
Oh, look
yeah.
what we have here. Hi, Brooke.
Hey guys,
How are
Hey,
you?
Brooke.
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing
Good.
fantastic now that Jacob has his microphone actually in the right direction.
I know.
Could you hear him when we were watching before?
No, he was so spotty, and I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Well, now he got his all his bugs worked out, so we're good.
Good job.
Just like you gave him advice, we're giving him advice on the show too, so he can be a big media
Yeah.
guy from now on.
There you go.
Hey, do you remember like the first question that Jacob asked you for advice?
Let's see. I think it was more like, maybe co-driving, because at that time he was co-driving for Billy Long and then Rick Ness. So it was more like co-driving of like what drivers like to hear, more on that stuff. And then there was a lot where he puts so much pressure on himself, and I feel so bad, and he does amazing. Like that kid, like he's going to get it done no matter what. And he puts so much pressure on himself, and he just does amazing at the end of the day.
So that's like that whole perfectionist and never give up that you have in you, Todd. You just give it, pass it down to Jacob, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I really enjoy that personality, though, because that means, like, we always talk about it on the show. Everybody nowadays is trained to go to work from 8 to 5. So at 4:59, you're looking at your watch being like, when do I get the heck out of work, right? But there's been so many days, like, in fact, I've never really had like I've been a software engineer for companies and had that type of job, but most of my jobs, you don't quit until the job is done.
Yeah.
Like, you don't go home until the work is done. And that's what Jacob is learning.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I remember when we were building the race car, there were nights that there were days that we would get to the shop at 7 in the morning, and we wouldn't leave until 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
Just because we had so much stuff to do and so little time to do it that we had to just stay late and work through and
7 days a week, just like this trip.
Yeah, pretty much. 7 days
every
straight.
day.
Yeah. No matter what happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people think we come down here on vacation.
Oh, no. 100% work.
Yeah. All
Every
the time.
day.
Did you get to see that from the sidelines, Brooklyn?
I did. More of the stuff because like Jacob and I snapped back and forth, and he was like long nights in the shop and working on that car. And that kid does a lot, especially just seeing where that car came from and then where it is now. It's a night and day difference for sure.
It's pretty cool to see, though, right? And Jacob's just a couple years younger than you, but you guys are both young enough, and he's looking to you for advice. That's got to feel pretty awesome too.
Yeah, I see him like the Zuccone family is like a second family to us, and he's like a little brother, and it's so cool to see like him growing and just becoming more and more in this sport as not just Todd Zuccone's son, but Jacob Zuccone as a driver.
Making a name for himself. I like to see that, man. That's super cool. It does show a lot, though, and that's kind of what I was going to get to, like some of the questions, but like you're showing him all of the ways that he should do things, right? Like the never give up attitude, perfectionist, work hard, stay late, do whatever you have to do to get the job done, but he's turning it the way that he wants to. So there might be stuff that you're even learning from him, right, Todd?
Yeah, for sure. I do learn some things from him, and but no, he does an amazing job with it.
It's pretty cool. When you're hanging out with him, Brooke, do you guys have a good time together still, or is it all serious business?
Always. We have fun.
Yeah, it's always like just being around like them. It's somebody's always cracking a joke. Somebody's always, and no matter what's going on, it could be a complete serious moment, and somebody's laughing in the corner trying to keep it all together.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way
A lot of moments like that. Yep.
Did you hear their rental car story before?
Oh, sorry, my battery went low. No, because he posted on his Snapchat and then his story, and I was like, oh, what happened? And he explained the whole story. Okay, well, that's a story to remember.
Yep.
Does that mean you don't want to get a rental car with them, or you do? Because I kind of want to.
You know what? I would be down to get a rental car.
I mean, I actually have a funny story. So when we got the rental car, we had probably an hour and a half drive from the airport to where we had to be.
Yeah.
And Dad's driving, and he's like shifting the car from drive to neutral, and then just at 80 miles an hour. We put that thing through its paces.
What kind of car was it?
Mazda.
It was the
Maserati.
It was the Maserati.
Maserati.
Oh, that's hilarious. Do you remember the first time that you got to race with or against Jacob, Brooklyn?
I got to race with Jacob. I think we were in different classes. I'm not too sure, but that was at Worlds last year.
Yep.
He was driving in Cole Friday's car, and Cole was co-driving for him. And that was the first time that I remember that Jacob, and that was one of the first times I actually met Jacob.
Oh, really?
Was last year Worlds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, dude. That's pretty cool.
Because that's when he really started to come out.
So did you have fun at that race?
Oh, yeah. I had a blast. That was my first race, and I was stoked, and it was pretty much all downhill from there.
What was the smile like on his face after he got out of the car, Todd?
I remember I have a picture of him before the race and after the race, and the smile was just as big both times.
Yeah. Really? That's pretty cool.
The only person that wasn't smiling was Cole Friday.
That's right. First lap.
Did you smoke his car?
No. So first lap, it was a 34-mile loop. Probably about 30 miles in, he yacked in the car, and he was not too happy. It was probably the roughest course I've ever been on, and I've co-driven and driven on a lot of race courses. Yeah, that was definitely one of the roughest ones.
So did you have fun though? Like,
what
place
yeah.
did you get?
I think we got.
They
for my
finished
first
all 5
race,
laps.
Yeah, we finished all 5 laps. I think we got 21st or 23rd out of like almost 40 cars.
Yeah, any major hiccups or no?
Nope, nothing.
Dang, dude. You freaking knocked it out.
Oh, and we got the whole shot too at the start. Yep.
Dude, you're stoked on that.
Yeah.
The UTV Worlds are coming up soon. Are you guys? Are you gonna race it, Brooke?
We're in still like debation, but I don't know.
What
I don't
about
know
you guys?
yet.
Are you guys gonna do it?
I don't think we are. The prep time between Laughlin and then Worlds and then Blue Water is just too tight, especially for me since, I'm back and forth from Colorado.
Yeah, there's a lot of racing that's overlapping at the end of the year pretty much.
And there's so much to do in the car between each prep. It's just too much for me. I think I'm just going to go best in the desert.
Yeah.
And we want to do the Mint, too, because I know Rick wants to race the Mint, and we talked about, splitting the driving up 3 ways.
Yeah.
And is that kind of the same thing that you have planned, Brooklyn?
Yeah, we're right now, like the last 3 races that we definitely have planned is Laughlin, Blue Water, and the Mint. So
you guys are going to all be racing in the same class together or no?
Yep.
Dang, that'll be pretty cool. And now it sounds like Jacob's learning how to go faster, so maybe you're going to have some more competition in your class, huh?
I hope so. Like, the coolest thing would be in that class, Evo to finish 1-2. Doesn't matter who's in front, who's behind it. Like, to have those 2 cars finish up front would be awesome.
Kind of like the podium sweep that you guys just had at Vegas to Reno.
Yeah.
Yep.
That had to feel pretty good. What were the places that you got Pro Turbo? I think you got 1st through 4th?
I believe so, yeah. 1st through 4th.
Yeah, 1st through 4th. And then we got 1 and 2 in Unlimited, and then
1 and 2 in Rally.
1, 2, and 3 in Rally, I believe. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Brooke, like when you hear stuff like that, are you like, yep, I picked the right sponsor to have, man. That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
That is pretty cool, though, right?
It's super cool. Oh, yeah. It's really cool. It's cool. Like, I mean, if you're an Evo car, you are just part of the team, and to see Evo finish up front is awesome.
Yeah, part of the Evo family, right?
Well, we picked the right, racer family to be a part of too. So
100%.
It goes both ways, Brooke.
And that's kind of where I was getting at is like you have all of these people that you support, but it's not like it's a 100% of a business relationship. Like you have a good relationship with 90% of the people that you do support.
Yeah, and that's what makes this industry so cool. And it goes back to the dirt life. We all kind of live. We're one big family.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And it's in the enthusiast world as well, too. Like, it's not, we're talking about racing because that's what Jacob's getting into, but you go to the dunes and you have the same type of family there as well. You can walk from camp to camp and you have the same family type.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Are you planning on going to the dunes at all, Brooke?
Right now, yes. We, like, Halloween, usually, like, my brother and I go out to Dumont. But we will be racing Blue Water on that weekend. So maybe We're thinking of going to maybe Glamis for Thanksgiving, which would be super fun. So,
how about dune trips for you guys? I'm sure you guys have some stuff planned.
Yeah, we've got a permanent space out in Glamis, so we'll be there for the major weekends. So
I think
Halloween.
So I think Dad's gonna go out to Glamis for Halloween, and then I'm gonna head out to Parker for the Blue Water Race.
Oh, okay.
But then we're out in Glamis for
Thanksgiving and then New Year's, and then President's Day.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. You guys have any cars that you're going to take out there that we haven't seen yet?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's it. That'll be good for you guys to go check that out. So maybe if you're there, Brooke, you can check out some of the new whips that they're going to bring out there.
yeah, last year I was actually there, and we all worked the Evo booth, which was really fun.
That was a trip to remember for sure.
That
a
was
lot
fun.
of good memories.
Yeah.
A lot of laughs.
We were that was around. We had COVID run through our Wisconsin facility, so nobody from Wisconsin could come. So it was basically
the Motley crew. Yeah,
it was
really?
Jacob and I trying to run our.
We only found out as we were driving down to Phoenix from Colorado.
Right, that nobody was coming.
Hey, no one's coming. So it was up to Dad and I to find people to come out. So we had some of the Jeffries crew and then the Demand family come out and help us.
And Billy and Haley.
Yep.
So
that's pretty cool. And what did you think about working with them, Brooke? That's probably a totally different atmosphere, right? Than being on the track.
It was so funny. Like, we were in the booth, and majority of the time is Jacob and I in the trailer, and then everybody else. And I was always asking either Jacob or somebody on the floor for questions and trying to learn the system, and then trying to get Jacob a girl. And it was so funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. Those memories will never go away either, right?
Oh,
like
and then
those are just fun times.
I just have a funny story from last year. Billy, he I don't know, he saw something about like a little 110 pit bike. So I don't know, he went to like Coin or something. He called up all the dealerships within a 100-mile radius. He's like, get me a pit bike. And nobody had one. And then Coin Powersports had one. And they delivered it out to Glamis for him. He paid like way over
COVID price,
what it was worth. Yeah, pretty much. And they delivered it out to Glamis for him, and Billy was so happy on his little 110 Kawasaki.
He didn't have a side-by-side to drive?
No, he did. No, he had his race car.
Yeah,
he brought his race car out there on paddles. But
he was more excited about a 110?
Pretty much. And then another story. It was like the end of the day. We're packing up. And Billy and RJ are out there. They're on the floor trying to sell as much product as they can. And Billy approached this guy, trying to snipe him from RJ because they both saw him.
They were trying to outsell one another.
Pretty much. And then Billy went in for the kill, and then it turned into, how much is your three-wheeler? Like, how much are you selling your three-wheeler for?
Really?
And Billy bought it for $600 cash right then and there.
Dude.
So Billy not only did he lose the sales competition, but he also spent $600 on a three-wheeler.
That then got split up 3 ways between RJ and Dad. So they each owned a share.
To ride the three-wheeler?
Yes. Yeah, I think everyone did.
Oh, great. I think Brooke has a funny story about that. He's laughing over there.
Oh, it was just funny watching Billy first learn how to ride it.
Yeah.
And that guy is just so funny, and he puts on his little helmet and just like goes, and he robbed it off the guy and then had to drop the guy off in my brother's Razor. So because the guy rode up on it and was trying to like buy like something from Evo, and then he got his ride stolen.
Yeah.
And like
So
pretty
he
much
had no ride
sold
back
his
to
stuff.
it.
And I don't think he. Yeah.
2 guys on a little three-wheeler?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious, man.
And then Billy's roll-up fake grass. He brought like
Artificial
probably
turf.
4 or 5 rolls of fake grass to put out in the sand where we were camped at.
That's like the worst idea, though, because it like gets so gnarly when you have to put it back.
Yep.
No, he left it there.
Yep.
It was.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I was going to say, you kind of can't take that home after that.
No.
Oh,
No,
man.
His goal was to have like the best camp in Glamis for Thanksgiving weekend.
That's cool, though. At least you guys had a good time.
Yeah.
Hey, Brooke, so you guys are real family-oriented over there with your family, obviously, and the racing and stuff like that. Do you see a lot of similarities in the way that, Jacob's being brought up with his racing family as well?
Yes. I think one of the most important things is like family, especially in this sport. Like it's all about family. It doesn't matter if it's blood family. It's just the family organization. And so seeing the Zuccone family come up and, you know, Jacob rising in a driver, co-driver, whatever, and bringing up his name, and then having his family back him, like it's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
It's awesome.
And they have, almost no expectations on his racing prowess. They just want him to get better and learn stuff, right? And then he's obviously keeping up all of his grades and work ethic and stuff like that. I mean, like, I don't see, like, any better way, and this is because I was raised the same way, of being brought up, right? Like, it keeps you out of so much trouble. There's so much good that happens when you're brought up and given those opportunities to be able to have, not just an occupation, but a life.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much that comes from it. I think it's so cool that you're getting those opportunities, dude. Like, I can't wait to see you, like, 5 years from now and ask these same questions. Be like, dude, how was it these last few races? Be like, yeah, that win was easy.
Hopefully, yeah.
That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Brooke, too, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So before we let you go, Brooke, because Justin's going to come on in a little bit here, do you have any other funny stories about Jake?
Ooh, I don't know. Should I bring up the catheter story?
Not trying to take a leak in the race car or
No,
what?
well, I mean,
I
there's
guess
a few.
you have to bring it up now.
Yeah.
Okay, so during Vegas to Reno, my mom
You have to do it
rented
in
like
2
a
minutes and
rent
30 seconds.
Okay, ready? My mom rented a rent-a-can, and in that, it had a bathroom, which was amazing. So Jacob had to go in and, like, both, like, co-drivers, my co-driver had to, and put, like, a catheter on. And so in the mix, he was, like, having issues, and we were about to go line up for the race. And, like, Zachary
No, back up.
and, like,
My
talking
issues
with him.
is that no one could shut up, and I couldn't focus hard enough. And, like, you can't get a catheter on. You can't get a catheter on with a bunch of people talking in the background. It's like so hard to concentrate.
Oh my God, that has nothing to do with it, dude.
For me, it did. Yeah.
Oh man. So did he miss the start?
It was great. No, he made it in time, thank goodness.
Clutch
but
mode,
it was
dude.
an awful funny story.
Yeah. And then your brother.
What
Yeah.
people remember.
Oh.
You could have won that race, and that would have still been the memory, dude.
Yeah. No, and then Brooke's brother could not shut up. Like as soon as I was like, shut up, just go away. I'm concentrating. And he was like, hey, Jacob, and like just
Giving you shit the whole time. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, you guys will obviously see each other at Laughlin, but thank you very much for coming on and talking with us tonight, Brooke. We really appreciate it. Episode 100, can you believe it?
Oh, it's so crazy. Like, congratulations to you. That is absolutely amazing.
Well, it's all because of people like you and Todd and Jacob here and everybody that's in our audience, so I appreciate you guys too. So thank you very much. We're going to talk to Justin in just a bit here.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
See you, Brooke.
See ya.
Bye.
It's just having, like, she's so happy all the time, right? But, like, just having those stories and those memories, like, it's so hard for people to make those these days. I mean, especially with the last couple of years, right? Yeah. But you guys still get to have that fun and that upbringing. Like, I can't tell you how much it means to me to see that for a family.
Yeah. It's it's like nothing else. I don't think it's hard for other people to experience what we experience, and some people may not relate to it.
Right.
We're just out getting dirty in the desert and racing cars. Some people just don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
that's what's so good about our audience is our audience really does get it.
Yeah.
They have the same experiences with their family, with their coworkers, with everybody. So we're going to try and get Justin Smith on the horn here real quick too, and have a little bit of fun with him. Justin's been a big partner of your guys for a long time too, right, Todd?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we couldn't have. This car handled amazing.
Yeah.
And what they've done for us has been amazing.
Justin Smith from Shock Therapy, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, guys? 100th episode.
Yeah.
Badass.
We're pretty stoked, that's for sure. So, before we get into the conversation about the Zuccones, and maybe you guys have a funny story about Jacob too, but thank you very much for all your support and being one of the first supporters of the Dirt Life show, dude. We really appreciate it.
You deserve it, man. We're proud to be part of it at all times.
Thank you. So first things first, I appreciate you joining us. I know you're not in the shop, but One thing that we were talking about here is how, Jacob and Todd are obviously living their dirt life together. Jacob's learning some very, very crucial things for the rest of his life, with racing, with work. He's not working a 9 to 5 like everybody that looks at their watch at 4:59 and bails out. He goes to get the job done. I mean, there's so many things that the dirt life teaches you, and you can probably see it, just with working with Todd and Jacob all the time.
Oh, that's a fact. I mean, they're a serious family. I mean, they're a serious racing family. You guys have probably already learned that just by watching or getting to know them right now on the show. But that's something that we've known for some time, and one of the reasons why we've always been really tight with everybody, the Zuccone and the Evo family. We work together a lot, and you're talking about father-son racing. It's bigger than that with everybody involved in Evo. It's the brothers and parents and sons and the rest of the family are always involved.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of the dirt life, the user 999A1717 says, "Am I the only one sitting in my Razor right now?" So I guess he's watching the show from sitting in his Razor, so that's pretty cool, right?
Right on, man. That's badass. Can't be better.
So you've dealt with, Todd for a long time, and obviously Jacob is coming, into the scene right now. I'd like to get a little bit more of your perception of Jacob as becoming a new young racer.
Well, I'll tell you this. It was probably a year ago, maybe. I'm right, Jacob, when we first did the shocks on your silver car testing in the loop.
Yep.
Were you 15 then, or were you 16?
I was 16 at the time. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I thought you were 15, but even at, Mitch and Jake were driving around. I was doing some video of that lap and getting the feel of the car, and there was zero hesitation, none whatsoever. He was up in full send. So, Todd, good job on that. Because he's certainly good with racing, and had no issues in the car. So that's my experience with him right away. And clearly he's been growing since then. He was pretty fast the first day in the car, but he's been learning a lot with seat time, right? But Todd, I heard that you've got some street race stories. I have a few too. I want to hear some of your street race stuff. Is that where maybe you got, Jacob involved in some of this?
Well, he definitely was a part of it when he was he wasn't. I wasn't street racing with him when he was a baby, but he's been around it. He's been with me at the racetrack early on when he was just a baby, and he just kind of grew up around it.
Go-karting. I started out go-karting.
Go-kart
racing.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, like shifter kart racing, or like tag karts?
They weren't shifter karts. They were.
So he had a 50cc, regular. He was only 5.
Kid kart,
it was kid kart, and we went to the karting place together. It was actually right up here on Happy Valley, I think.
Yeah.
And it was an early on deal, and he liked to race. He liked to go fast too.
Yeah, that's cool. So go ahead, Justin.
When I was born, my dad was drag racing, and he sold his double A fuel alternator to pay the hospital bill when I was born. And so I think immediately after that, he just wanted to impart all of his knowledge to me as a kid, and building engines and, setting up rear diffs and stuff was kind of part of me growing up with my dad. And he, the first car I ever had was a go-kart, and it was like $50 and a brick Stratton. But I tell you what, that engine was apart. The head was milled, and big compression and a straight pipe, and we chromed everything. And I learned how to drive with that, hand in hand with my dad. So everything I've ever done in my life has always been hot rod or horsepower or, I don't know, fun in general, I guess, related. And I got to give it to my dad for starting me there. So Todd, good job on that.
Yeah.
Take it, soak it up, everything you can get.
Dude, 100%, man. John Lewis just commented in, and he's actually said that he remembers running Supermoto on that same go-kart track.
Yeah.
Did you see Supermoto dudes out there, too?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not Supermoto, but Dad had like a 110 or something like that.
I had a 125.
Yeah.
Shifter kart. So we went out together.
Supermoto's like the dirt bikes, though, with street bike wheels on it. Did you guys ever do two-wheel stuff, or was it always four-wheel stuff?
Always four-wheel.
Always four-wheel stuff. And you were pretty much four-wheel guy too, Justin.
Yeah, it was, if it wasn't dirt bikes, it was quads. And I grew up on a CR 500 until I wore a hole in my boot trying to start that thing, and then went to Quadzillas, and it was dunes or it was Johnson Valley somewhere in California, but dirt bikes.
Dude, that Quadzilla would break your ankle if it kicked back on you, man. Oh my God, that thing was gnarly.
I was a pretty big guy, so I was like the only one that got to ride it. Nobody else could start it.
Because they couldn't start it. That's hilarious. So some of the things that you're seeing with Jacob now are very similar to the way that you and your dad were brought up, or your dad brought you up too. And that's the same with me, man. Like we just talk about it as the dirt life goes. Like it's a different way to be brought up, and it's so meaningful for me to see that Todd is passing it down to Jacob now.
Well, and that's why I said, Jake, soak it in. Yeah. I mean, Todd got more experience than you're ever going to have, no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
Take every single bit of it, and everybody around you, if they have a device, take it.
Yeah.
That was my advice.
Do you get treated any different at school, like when you did go to school or when you do go to school?
Well,
because you're not a football guy or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, freshman year, that was the only time I really did in-person school, at a larger school. So, I mean, I was different than all the other kids. My interests were different. I was gone almost every weekend, traveling with Dad or going to races, kind of flying there or something, or meeting him somewhere.
Yep.
And I'd go back and I'd tell all my friends, and they just didn't get it. They didn't understand how happy this stuff made me, and they didn't understand how cool this stuff is, the way I think it is.
And they don't know it because they haven't been around it, or they don't learn it, right? Like it's probably similar to what you grew up as well, Justin.
Yeah, man. I mean, my dad was a nut, and I think every day for all the experiences that I had with him. But if it wasn't going to the drag boat races, it was NHRA. We knew everybody there. It was going to Parker, Mead, or Havasu or whatever, and it could be a pickle fork hydro with a big block Chevy in it that'd do $110, or drag boat, but would be there. I mean, the fastest I've ever been on the water was 170, and that was in a drag boat. And his buddies. So, the experiences you're never going to be able to repeat. So whenever someone says you want to ride or hold my beer, you say yes.
Absolutely. That's crazy, man. Could you imagine going 170 on water?
No.
Yeah. And so I don't know, fun fact if you know, but Todd's gone 231 miles an hour in a car.
No, was that on the street?
No, that was on an abandoned airport in Texas.
Oh, like 1 mile deal.
The Texas Mile, yep.
Oh, that's crazy fast, man. That takes so much power to do that in 1 mile.
Dude.
I've made plenty of attempts on my own, but not in a sanctioned event. I shouldn't probably say these now.
We didn't hear any of that stuff. We'll pretend like it got muted. And John Huppers actually said, and you live to tell about it.
I actually spun at like 210.
No way.
Yeah.
How gnarly was that? Holy
that was pretty gnarly. I spun for probably a quarter of a mile.
Really? Dude, could you imagine spinning for a quarter of a mile, Justin?
I'd just be waiting for the thing to catch air and fly.
I know.
Unfortunately, it didn't. It stayed on all four wheels.
Could you imagine that, Jacob?
No.
Well, then I was stupid enough to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
Dude, that's bananas, man. So what are a couple of the milestones that you've seen over the years working with Evo and with Jacob as well?
I'll tell you, it's always I think that we have the same mentality. We're always testing. We're always improving. They never sit on their laurels. It's not like they come up with a tune for any UTV and then just leave it alone. It's constantly developed and improved. We like to feel like we do that too. And so we get along because our thought process on everything when it comes to horsepower and maybe even business in a lot of ways is so similar.
Yeah.
And we work together a lot, and there's a lot of stuff that we have worked on. There's a lot of stuff we are working on, stuff that we can't talk about yet. But, a lot of people are going to be surprised when they find out some of the new things coming out.
I can't wait to hear that. So it's well, pardon my dad joke. It's a constant evolution.
For sure.
That's pretty badass though, and I love that because like that just goes back to what I was talking about before. You're not looking at your watch when it's 4:59 to get out of work. You're thinking about what's the next step, like what can I do better? And Jacob's learning directly from your actions.
Yeah.
That's so awesome, man. And that's kind of the same thing that Justin learned as well when he was growing up. Like, and that just it breeds a good person.
And we can have fun doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not always work, but work seems to
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Max Resto 8 said, but
Yeah,
did you die?
Nope.
Jacob, you like what you're doing so far, right?
Yeah, always. Yeah.
Well, if you can make money at it, then there's about a million other people that have never figured that out.
Yeah.
That's a very good point, right? Do you remember any funny stories, Justin, hanging out with these two Wildcats?
Man, I was going to make up some stuff and embarrass everybody. I don't have anything killer. I can tell you this, though, that either we're all a little bit too old or something, because when we get to beer pong and drinking at the dunes and everybody's in bed, I just wonder where you're at, Todd. I mean, we've been looking for you to partner up, and I just never, ever find you over at the trailer. What's up?
Water pong is what Todd needs.
Yeah, I could do some Topo Chico pong, but beer pong is my drinking days are over.
Well, you're a lot smarter than me.
I've done enough drinking in my lifetime for 2 lifetimes.
That's okay, though. They could have a father-son team because Jake's not old enough to take any booze either, so they could have a Topo Chico team against you guys with your beer pong.
We have to put some money on it. Then we get Ernie out, who's a real professional.
All right.
Dude, that's probably a game with Ernie as a team member. That's probably a game that the other team's going to lose, man.
All right, you're on Halloween.
Why do you think Ernie and I are always partners?
You always want to win, right? Yeah, so what's going on in the next couple months for you, Justin? I know the Dunes as well as Laughlin and a couple other things, right?
Yeah, things are ramping up because by the end of the year, I mean, typically October, you got the Dunes coming in, you got Camp Razor, and 3 or 4 major trips to the Dunes. So we're busy out there. But in addition to that, everybody brings their UTVs out of the garage in the winter, and so we get busy at the shop as well. I don't think that I'm even booked to be home more than 1 or 2 weekends between October and the end of December.
Oh, wow.
So I'm somewhere between the racing or tests with whatever or whoever and all the events that we have coming up. It's pretty busy. So I don't even try to know what I'm doing next week. I check with my wife for the calendar. Otherwise I forget it.
Yeah, exactly. You got to focus on what you can. Well, hopefully I'll be able to see you guys out at the Dunes on Halloween. I think I'll be able to go out there. So that'll be pretty cool if we can all link up.
For sure.
You guys will probably
always look forward to seeing you out there, George. And Todd, we're neighbors again, right?
We are.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That'll be pretty cool, man, to see you guys reunited.
What's one of the really coolest things about that trip and any sand trip is that the Evo being next door to us, we have customers. I think that we have the best customers in the industry, and probably between both of us, right, Todd?
Agreed.
And so, your guys get tunes done, and they come over and get our shock stuff, and our shock guys come over and get tunes done. And they go back and forth, and everybody's a giant family at that block of vendors. It's cool to see. It's really, really cool to step back and watch all the customers going back and forth and talking about everything that they want to do.
Yep.
So I love this energy.
Yeah, it's like market. Like every time I pass by, I'm like, dude, there's so many people over there. Like they're not going to be able to ride until later on today. But then I'm like, but that's such good market research. That's so cool that they get to hang out with all their customers. Like I just have a smile on my face because I know you guys are loving it.
Yeah, I mean, we work hard, but we play hard, and it's fun to watch all the looks on customers' faces, because they're always wondering, is it worth it? And it may be that way with the tune thing too. But the second they drive up in their stock vehicle, get horsepower, and leave, they know everything was worth it, right? And same with what we do. So it's really validating for us to watch the smiles on our customers' faces.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so one thing that I wanted to ask these guys, Justin, was have you guys ever seen Ernie send it at the Dunes?
No.
Not in person, no.
Dude, he goes big. Like Ernie goes real big, dude.
No, Ernie's always flipping the keys to his car to me or anybody else.
Yeah.
So I've never actually even seen Ernie drive his car except for in the photos that I see him sending it really big. Yeah.
Who goes the biggest in your guys' crew, Justin? Is it Ernie?
I think it's probably a toss-up between him and Mitch. Have you ever seen Mitch on a dirt bike? Because that dude will go 80 feet in the air with gainers and the whole shot, whatever the hell other names of the tricks are. I don't know.
All the freestyle tricks?
Yeah, Mitch is all about it, and Ernie's not scared, especially with big old Max. He'll send that thing for sure.
Right on. Well, thanks, man, for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I don't know if you're on vacation or whatever you're doing, but have some fun, man.
Testing in Havasu, and with a little bit of fun in the back.
Oh, yeah.
But we're testing for the next race coming up in the next couple months, and we're actually going to be testing in Laughlin in 2 days as well for the next race.
Man.
Very cool. So so Jacob, let this be a lesson to you. This right here in the back, this is called work. And if you can figure out how to do that and make money, then you're doing a good thing. So keep with what you're doing.
And also bring a lot of water for whatever you're going to do in Havasu or in Laughlin right now, too.
Yeah.
All right, Justin. Thanks so much.
George, thank you. Todd and Jake, have a good one, man. Take it easy.
You too.
We'll see you later, man. It's always good talking with Justin, man. That's so cool. He does bring up a good point, though, too, is like you have a really good role model in front of you to be able to understand how to operate a business. You got, somebody like Justin, a partner that your dad gets to work with that you can learn from as well.
Yeah.
It's just cool to be able to see that, right? Like I remember times when I was growing up and my dad had an auto shop, and I would be able to learn from the managers that he had and all kinds of different people. And sure, some people are going to give you shitty advice, right? But like everybody else, it's like you just be a sponge the whole time, man, and it makes such a huge difference down the road, and you don't even remember half the stuff that you learned. It's so cool.
Yeah, it just becomes a part of you.
Yeah, exactly. So the role models that you have around, and I mean, even like Justin said, like, and you guys actually had a perfect example of it. Like you were working at the Evo booth in Glamis with some of your friends having a good time, but you were having a sales competition at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like you're really making the most out of it, right?
Yeah. We try to.
That's pretty cool, dude. I really think that's cool. And, like you said before, like you have that never give up attitude, just like your dad does. Like no matter what, you didn't give up on that. Getting Rick's car ready, or the car that you guys built behind us when you had a huge deadline. Like that's pretty insane, dude, because there's so many people that have been like, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to make the race. Like we got to wait for parts. Like, and you didn't do it. You stayed the course the whole time.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad, man. Do you have any plans to do any other racing other than Best in the Desert?
We've talked about some score races, like the Baja 400 and 500, and the San Felipe 250 as well. So,
have you gone down and helped any other teams do those races?
I have not yet. No.
I would strongly suggest doing that before you actually make the trip down there in your own car. Those are it's a desert race, right? And it's 400 miles, just like most of the, but it's a completely different story. Like not even close. Like, I mean, chasing people, you have to still go, but it's way different. Like everything is different.
Yeah.
So I strongly suggest you go down there and hang out. And who would be a team that you'd want to go hang out with?
Maybe Mark Burnett. Dad's done that. I've
been down with Mark for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always an open invitation for us to go down there.
Yeah, that'd be
it's an experience. I mean, there's nothing like being down in Baja.
Yeah.
And he hears about the stories. But I think this year we're gonna make it down there for the 1,000.
That's cool, man. That would be super cool. And that race is a massive point-to-point race this year, too. So that would be a good one to go to because you're going to learn everything under the sun, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to ask both questions. I want to know 2 milestones in the last probably 5 years of Evo, and then I want to know 2 milestones from you in the past couple years for your new side-by-side racing career, Jacob. So go ahead and answer first.
Put the pressure on me. I guess building this car, first of all, with for Rick, that was a huge milestone for me, kind of getting thrown to the wolves without knowing too much about, the ins and outs of the car. That's one for sure. And then 2, probably, being able to travel and have the freedom with school to come down here and prep and do all the cool stuff that I get to do and, go to shows like Sandsport. And Glamis and all that, and work and kind of learn everything I need to know about business and, how to make something of myself. And,
That's pretty cool, man. And so, you know what I got from that is like he gave two different answers, right? He gave one that was work oriented and one that was race oriented. And I completely think that's super. Like most people don't say that. It would have been like, dude, my best milestone was second place at the last race. Like, but now I'm going to get first. Like, but he wasn't selfish about it. He was humble about it. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad to see that. And then, so what about you, Todd? With I think probably the coach shooter is going to be one milestone.
Was for sure, but I think this car as well. I mean, this is a big milestone. You know, we got tasked to do this for the Discovery Channel, which was a huge opportunity. But although I wasn't as big of a part of it as Jacob was, it was cool to see it all to come together and you know, we're excited for that TV show to come out in a few weeks. So
actually, it should be this coming week, or this Friday.
Maybe this Friday, but it was a huge milestone for a couple different reasons.
It's pretty rad, though, and you know, having just the evolution of the business, and I use that word loosely, but the evolution of the business, like you're seeing where the trends are going, you're seeing what people can do. I can only imagine what you've seen from the last 2 months that Coach Shooter has been released, and how much more it's going to be like coming to fruition in the next month or in the next year or so here.
Yeah, no, and like I mentioned before, we will continue to evolve that platform, and it was definitely it was a personal growth experience for me as well as for the business.
It is super cool, man. I also want to see if we can get Brandon up here to give us a little bit of a good understanding of what's going to happen in the future with Evo Mode. So look at this camera over here, Brandon. And the question that I have for you is pretty much, is the microphone on? Is pretty much what is the plan for this shop down here in Phoenix, Arizona, and what can people look forward to? Make sure that that microphone is on. There you go, buddy.
Is it on?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, there we go. I mean, it's kind of snowballed into something a little different than we originally planned, but definitely a lot of development going on, a lot of fun top secret projects going on, so a lot of fun stuff to come out of here.
It'll be pretty cool too. And are people allowed to come down to the shop and say hello?
Yeah, definitely. They can come down and check it out. It's not typically a retail shop, but definitely swing by and check it out.
Yeah, Phoenix, Arizona is going to be a hotbed for off-road stuff coming up here pretty quick. So we really appreciate you putting in all the hard work, and thank you very much for everything that you did to get this show produced too.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you guys coming down and doing the show here.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man.
It's cool that you have such good people working with you as well.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon is he's an instrumental part of EVP Mode, and he's a partner in the business, and we're excited as to what this is going to turn into. Like he mentioned, it started as one thing, and like within the first month, it's completely morphed into something bigger, greater, and
but you got to be flexible in business, dude.
For sure. But, I know that I'm super stoked as to what we have planned for this place and what it's going to do.
I can't wait to see what happens, man. It's pretty cool. And you're located obviously pretty, within arm's length of Jeffrey's Performance, who is one of your partners as well. So it's kind of nice to have them right around the corner too, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I was going to talk about, not to switch subject back again, but Jacob, we talked about you going to school and maybe not having the same likenesses as a lot of people there. That's the same way I was too, but it really keeps you grounded and keeps you out of getting in trouble, right? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Do you ever get like invited to go to oh, dude, we're going to go to this badass party. Come with us. Like,
no, I mean, pretty much everyone in my town just wants to smoke weed.
Oh, really?
It's nothing that interests me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that does nothing for you.
You're focused on something bigger.
Yeah, I'm focused on myself. Or not to sound selfish, but I'm focused on making something of myself and doing cool stuff and working and I mean,
there's respect for that though, dude. Like you got to make sure that you know that too. So,
and it may not be respect from the people in my town, but to be honest, I don't really care about the people in my town. Not in a bad way, but I mean,
Yeah,
you
about
know,
the negative stuff.
Yeah.
The hater's going to hate.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but that's going to be the way that you learn, though, because that happens all the time. I mean, even on the show, like, people see success and they send bad messages to us, but I just, brush it off and be like, dude, you know what? I'm going to wait for the next positive message.
Yeah, exactly.
It's way better to have it like that. And I'm sure there's, stuff that's happened in your dad's life, competition and stuff, and he relays that information to you and teaches you how to navigate those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I really appreciate that you guys are living your lives so much like your dad brought you up, right? Like, it's not this whole new day and age of technology and let your kid do whatever he wants. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, I can't stand some of the things that go on these days with all the digital and social media and things like that. I mean,
we could talk for years about the crap. But that leads us into my last question that I had for you is, what's some advice that you would give to maybe some of the youngsters out there that are going to try to start their own business, or even your own son, as to how to operate maybe a racing program, and then as a second question, a business?
I would say the first thing is once you start something, never give up. There's many times where you can throw in the towel because it gets too hard, but for sure, just stick at it, stick to it, and do what you love. If you have, are driven with passion and a love for something, just do it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And is that some of the things that you've learned from your dad as well?
100%, yeah. I guess big thing is surround yourself with, good people that you like, people that like you, other successful people. Kind of surround yourself with wolves, pretty much.
Yeah.
People that get stuff done and will support you getting your own stuff done.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And that's what like a lot in business. But I also like what Jacob had said before is also take your time. Like, if you're young, like, learn it and absorb it and go forward with it without getting burnt out. I think that's a really good tip. And he did, I don't know, sideways said that, but I think it's a really good tip, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, you guys want to do the rapid fire Q&A, or do you guys want to do Are You Smarter Than a Third Grader?
That's up to you.
I'd say rapid fire.
That's good, though, because the third grader questions are pretty hard, man. All right. Jacob, you go first, and then you let your dad go second. First question. I think you might have answered some of these, actually.
Okay.
Hard shell or soft tacos?
Soft.
Both going soft. Thank you very much for the tacos tonight. Those were delicious. Who suggested those?
It was
Lindsay Geyser.
Yeah, Lindsay did. Yes, for sure.
I had to throw that in there because they're bomb tacos if she's suggesting the place. Chicken or carne asada?
Carne.
Chicken.
Dunes or the river?
Dunes.
Both going into is that because you guys are in dune mode? Like, what if it was
the lake?
Yeah.
Also, but we're getting into dune season.
3-wheeler or quad?
3-wheeler.
Death machine. So you guys want to hear a cool story? So I was at off-road nights. Was it a day ago or 2 days ago? And I met a guy that had a factory Honda 200X. He showed me pictures of this thing. Like, it blew my mind how sweet that was. No, he raced it like at Carlsbad and stuff. Like, he was the guy on it. Like, it wasn't just a project now. Like, he was doing it back in the 80s or something like that. Yeah, he raced it at Carlsbad and at Verona Oaks, and he was just showing me, like, all the trick stuff. Like, I mean, if any 3-wheeler could ever be, like, brought to us now, that would be the one, right? All the factory parts and stuff. Pizza rolls or jalapeno poppers?
Pizza rolls.
Pizza.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Favorite movie?
It's a hard one. I have a lot. Step Brothers.
Step Brothers, that's a good one.
That is a good one. I don't really have a favorite movie.
You don't?
Step Brothers is good.
I'm going with Requiem for a Dream. Let's see here. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, I remember answering this one. I forget what my answer was, but probably mind reading.
Mind reading?
Yeah.
Dude, that might be bad, though, because then you could, like, hear some bad stuff that other people think. Like, that would be crazy. I don't know if I'd want that power. What about you, Todd?
No, I don't think I want that power.
Yeah, Tyrone commented in and said, giving a kid structure, much respect.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what superpower I'd want.
What about, like, being invisible or, like, time travel or something?
Time travel would be cool.
Yeah. I feel like with your schedule, that would be so, like, just zap from place to place. Most memorable race?
Vegas to Reno.
Yeah?
Agreed.
Yeah.
And you're going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
But even with all the stuff that you've done.
Yep.
That's cool, man. Because
I got to do it with him.
That's exactly what I was going to say, man. That's so cool. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Favorite track?
Ooh, Parker.
You've had so many of them, huh? That'd be hard to answer for you. All right, how about favorite snack for you then?
Ice cream.
You're going ice cream?
Yeah.
What flavor? Because that's one of the questions that I took off here.
They're all good.
I feel like we got an addiction over here.
Oh yeah, 100%. Soft serve. Oh my gosh.
Really?
Yeah.
He's
Big ice cream guy?
Oh yeah.
What flavor of ice cream are you going with? I think I asked you before, didn't I?
Ooh, cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream. All right, since we're not going to, you guys probably don't know. Well, I'll ask two questions. Supercross or motocross? Okay,
Don't know.
short course or off-road then?
Off-road.
Off-road.
Going off-road too? Even with the TV package being so good in short course racing? Let's see here. What other form of racing would you like to try? And don't think about it just like four wheels. Think about it like boats, monster trucks, like all kinds of crazy stuff. Airplanes, the airplane racing that they do.
For me, probably West Coast short course racing and a side-by-side.
You
like
try
works,
that one?
Works, yeah.
I think
AZOP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think boats.
You like boats?
Yeah.
Have you seen those ones where they go in like the swamp and they're just like the guy
like in
points his-
Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things look so gnarly. They got that big old roll cage.
Justin has one of those.
Yeah, I saw it over there, and I still think he's freaking nuts for having that bad boy.
Yep.
I would feel safer probably in the helicopter than I would in one of those boats, especially if your navigator messes up. Let's see here. Two more questions. Oh, who's your celebrity crush? This is a good one for Jacob.
Madeline Klein.
Who's that?
The star girl on Outer Banks.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. Do you have one, Todd?
No, I don't. My wife.
Politically correct. Chips and guacamole or French fries and ketchup? Final question.
Chips and
on that.
guac.
Chips and guac.
Especially when you go down to El Trolero in Mexico, right?
Oh, that's the best tacos in the world.
So Jacob's going to have to experience those pretty soon.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for everything that you guys have done for the sport. Thank you guys for having us here, obviously. We look forward to seeing what you guys come up with in the future, man. I look forward to seeing how your business evolves and seeing how Jacob becomes as a racer.
Yeah, and thank you for having us.
Yeah.
This is a huge milestone for you, too, and I want to congratulate you.
Yeah, thank you, man. We put a lot of hard work in it, but like I said before, man, it's not done without the guys like you and our audience and stuff like that. So we really do appreciate it. Like I said before at the beginning of the show, we want to give back to you guys. You guys are the ones that are helping us the most. So go to thedirtlifeshow.com, click on sponsor deals. You can even take lessons there from Alex Streiler and learn how to get sponsors like Evolution Powersports through some of the workshops that he does. He even tells you how to make a deck. He does everything there, and sponsorship time is coming up pretty soon. So be on the top of your game for your racing season next year. We want to thank all of our partners, KMC Wheels, EFX Tires, Shock Therapy. Thank you, Justin, for coming on the show as well. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at shocktherapyusa.com, and Zollinger Racing Products. Use the code TheDirtLife at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. Thank you to the guys over at CryoHeat. Thank you to the guys at Solderweld. We have some special announcements that we're going to make in the next couple weeks here for progress on the show, but we want to say that we're going to see you guys at the Sand Sports Super Show as well on that Friday. I think most people call it like Industry Day on Friday, right? So hang out with us there. If you guys are at the Sand Sports Super Show, feel free to stop by. We're going to be at the Wheel Pros booth, KMC guys over there, and we're going to have some fun, man. It's going to be cool. We're going to have a live show out there. They got us dialed in with internet, so it's going to be really awesome. Next week's show, we're going to be at the Warfighter Made headquarters for an episode about adrenaline therapy. It's going to be pretty cool because that'll be on the 6th, next Monday. And then the following weekend on Saturday, we're going to go, and the guys from X Travel Suspension offered up a 4-seater, and I get to be one of the celebrity drivers and take people for rides. So it'll be able to take some veterans, their families, and just go have some fun. And
very cool.
It'll be pretty cool for everybody. It'll be a nice event, and we're going to talk about that next Monday on the show. So please join us for that. Thank you, like I said, for everyone at Evolution Powersports. Thank you guys over at Jeffrey's Performance for all their help today. Thank you, Brandon, for lining everything up. Appreciate Kenny for doing all the photos today. Thanks for Lindsay Geyser for suggesting the taco place, just being an all-around badass. We really appreciate it, man. And thank you to everybody for showing up in the live audience here at this shop, and then you guys for joining us, man. You guys made this episode really, really awesome. We really appreciate everything you guys have done for the show. I wish I could give back more to you guys, but we really appreciate it. So thank you guys very much. Thanks for living your dirt life with us. We will see you next week. Good night.
Thanks for listening to the Dirt Life Show.